हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, धन्यवाद प्रणाम।
चंदन प्रभु हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजाता सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्ता नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचना गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामी नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। पंचतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपा स्वरूपकं Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So we are continuing our discussion Act of Devotion, Chapter 1, the 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. We discussed one characteristic, which is Kleshagni, or uh, pure devotional service brings immediate relief from all kind of material distress. And we discussed the cause of material distress is ignorance. Because of ignorance, there is material desires. When we forget our sambandha gyan, our relationship with the Lord, and when we identify ourselves on a bodily conception of life, then we develop material desires, and material desires leads to uh, a sinful action, which leads to a sinful reaction, and that becomes the cause of our distress. And what devotional service does, it brings us to knowledge, removes the ignorance, and that's how we start living a pure life. And whatever our previous reactions are there, they start becoming eradicated by the potency of devotional service. Devotional service is very, very powerful. Uh, we don't know how much we are saved, how much sufferings we are saved, just because we have taken to the path of devotional service. But those who are not taking devotional service, so much karmic reaction comes day and night. But for people who are practicing devotional service, it's like we don't realize it because we don't experience any great misery. We don't experience, so we don't realize. But actually, devotional service is removing so much, uh, but we can't see. Uh, by Krishna's mercy, we can get some realization how much he has saved. Whatever little problem comes in our life when we are practicing devotional service is just Krishna's arrangement for us to become pure devotees. And we know that the devotional service will remove our sinful reactions, our intense suffering that we may have to go through for so many lifetimes, wrong things that we have done. Yet Krishna wants us to become pure, and we have imperfections, we have impurities. So Krishna, and we have this enjoying mentality, this enjoying spirit. Aham bhogi, I'm the enjoyer. And Krishna puts us in circumstances to uh, become more and more selfless, to become more and more Krishna centered. That's how whatever comes in a life of devotees is benediction of Guru and Krishna. And see, it says immediate relief from all kind of material distress. Amazing. And then today we will discuss about how pure devotional service is the beginning of all auspiciousness. How our lives becomes auspicious when we start practicing pure devotional service. And these all we will discuss one by one again. This one we discussed, so I'm not going to discuss again. We saw evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, now Krishna consciousness is the beginning of all auspiciousness. Everyone can experience the peace and happiness and joyfully make spiritual progress. See, devotional service is very powerful. It directly connects. Like recently, we were having a program on the Friday in Grand Rapids. And after the program, we had Damodar Arati. We turned off the light, and everybody was offering lamps um, to Ratha Damodar, and we were singing Damodar Ashtakam. Later on, one student came and he said, Prabhuji, it felt so peaceful. It felt I could so much connect internally with the Lord in my heart. So, devotional service is very powerful. Everyone can experience the peace and happiness and joyfully make spiritual progress. And naturally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, um, Kevala Ananda Kanda. It is very joyfully performed if one is situated rightly in devotional service. Then best service is giving a forgetful soul an opportunity to experience Bhakti Rasa. This is something that Srila Prabhupada mentions under this heading, that there are various services we can render, but the best service we can render is if we can connect other souls to experience Bhakti. What is service? What is the principle of service? The principle of service is to please those whom we are serving. When somebody is pleased with us, service is rendered. Otherwise, if somebody is displeased with us, even if we make lot of effort, and if we end up in displeasing somebody, then really not much service is done, because the purpose of service is to please. And what really please anyone is when they experience Krishna, when they experience the bhakti rasa, the joy of devotion within their heart. So if we can become an instrument for somebody to experience bhakti rasa, then that becomes the best form of service. Srila Prabhupada gave an example, a child who was lost. Somebody came to him and offered him some food. Another person came and offered him a shelter. Another person came and offered him some medicines. Another person came and offered him some warm clothes because it was winter. And another person came and asked him, whose son are you? And then he told his father's name. Where are you from? And he apparently was from a different city. So he started calling all those names in that city. And one person said, yes, I have lost my son. And the person said, okay, give me your address, I will bring the son to you. And the person says, no, just stay there, I will catch the next flight and be there to see my son. And they were eagerly waiting for the son. But when the son is connected to father, the problem of food, the problem of shelter, medicine, warm clothes, or whatever it is, the father takes care of everything. Likewise, all of our suffering in this material world is because we are separated from Krishna. And the solution to all the problems if we can connect to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada gave an example of fish out of water. Fish cannot be happy out of water no matter what you give. Likewise, a living entity cannot be happy without devotional rasa, without connecting to Krishna in devotion. So the best service that can be rendered is if somebody can be connected to devotional service to Krishna. Then even good for animals. How devotional service is the beginning of all auspicious. Devotional service so auspicious that even animals are benefited. And there is this example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was going to Vrindavan. He went through an inner route, and there was a forest on the way. It was called Jharikanda forest. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to Jharikanda forest, he was feeling thirsty. So he went to the lake nearby and he drank some water. And he was carrying one servant with him whose name was Balabhata Bhattacharya. Balabhata Bhattacharya. So Mahaprabhu was drinking some water, and Balabhata Bhattacharya shouted, Lord, beware. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked back, and there was a number of elephants. They were mad elephants. It is said the mad elephant is the most dangerous animal, and that's why the offense to a Vaishnava, Vaishnava Aparadh, is compared to a mad elephant, because mad elephant are the most ferocious animals, way more powerful than a tiger also. Uh, if somebody climbs on the tiger, like if a tiger climbs on a tree, and if the elephant is mad, the elephant can uproot the tree. The elephant can do anything, mad elephant. So there were a lot of mad elephants surrounding Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya was drinking water. He looked at all of them and he smiled. And Lord Chaitanya took the water from the lake and, and splashed the water on all the elephants like this. And he told all the elephants, chant the name of Krishna. And all the elephants, they became ecstatic. They stood on two legs and raised their trunk. And in the elephant voice, they started chanting in a deep resonating on Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. That was because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he can connect to all living entities in whichever forms they are. Prabhupada says we cannot do that, but at least we can try to give Krishna consciousness to humans. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then when Mahaprabhu was going back, a lot of tigers came. First, what happened when Mahaprabhu was going on the way, a tiger was sleeping. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Balabhatta Bhattacharya, Balabhatta Bhattacharya, the servant, he kind of took a long detour because he was afraid, because they were going through a forest path. All kind of wild animals were there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to the tiger and he kicked him on his face. That was quite bold. Kicked him on his face, and this elephant became angry. He just got up, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the tiger, "Why are you wasting your time in sleeping? Chant the name of Krishna and perfect your life. This is an opportunity." And the tiger started crying, and he also stood on two legs with raised hands, and his tiger voice. He started chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And then lot of tigers joined, and Mahaprabhu looked at everybody, and Mahaprabhu told all the tigers that chant the name of Krishna and perfect your lives. This is an opportunity. And they all stood on their two legs and they started chanting Krishna, Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed a brilliant Sankirtan with the tigers and the elephants. And then deer came. And these deers, usually, as soon as the tiger see the tiger eat the deers, because by nature they are envious. So they attack other living entities. um, So, but this time, because their heart was filled with devotion to Krishna, their heart became purified. They gave up their envious nature, the tigers. Um, and the tiger started embracing the deer, and the tiger started kissing the deers, face to face, lips to lips, and they were embracing and kissing. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he saw this is a festival of love, where the tigers and the deers are experiencing pure love for Krishna, and they were like devotee sangha, pure devotee sangha. So deer started chanting the holy name of Krishna. Monkeys came. Monkeys started dancing and chanting the holy name of Krishna. So tigers, monkeys, uh, deers, elephants, everybody started chanting the holy name of Krishna. One time Haridas Thakur, this comes in Harinam Chintamani. One time Haridas Thakur asked, one time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually, he empowered Haridas Thakur as Namacharya. Those who don't know Haridas Thakur, he would chant 192 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Haridas Thakur um, that humans can be delivered by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But what about the trees and the animals? How can they be delivered? And Haridas Thakur said, "My Lord, by your mercy, if anybody chants the holy name of Krishna, anybody who hears is also liberated, is also benefited, also makes progress." So when a devotee chants loud, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. When a devotee chants loud, everybody who hears him makes great transcendental spiritual progress. So it is this pure devotional service is all auspicious. When you're walking on the tree, you are going for a japa walk, or even if you're driving and your windows are open and Hare Krishna Kirtan is going on, even the microscopic insects who are outside, anybody who hears gets benefited, because pure devotional service is auspicious for um, even good for animals or any living entity. uh, Haridas Thakur says that those who chant loud they get 1,000 times the benefit than those who chant in the mind, because those who chant in the mind are benefited only are only themselves benefited, but those who chant loud, they benefit all living entities. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said that when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra loud, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra goes around the universe 7 times. Now, we know that when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, after few, probably in the neighbor house, they cannot hear, but the vibrations travel. The sound diminish, but the vibrations travel. These vibrations travel, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, 7 times around the universe and purify the whole universe. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says that in Kirtan, when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we can raise our hands. When we raise our hands act as antennas and they transmit the vibrations that goes around the universe 7 times. And Prabhupada would say that if you go to, say, if you go out for Sankirtan and you go to a marketplace or you go to a downtown or you go to some places and then you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the whole environment is sanctified. And then even if devotees come back, because Hare Krishna Mahamantra is there, the vibrations remain there. So those who pass the downtown area, the pass the marketplace, just walk by, they are also touched by the seed of devotion, even though they are not hearing the Mahamantra, because the vibrations touches them. So Krishna consciousness is the beginning of all auspiciousness. Anybody who begins Krishna consciousness find peace and happiness and joy, uh, uh, gets an opportunity to render the best kind of service. Even animals, trees, and other living entities are benefited. Then practitioner develop all good qualities of a demigods. Um, it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam that all the qualities of demigods manifest in those who take to the path of devotional service. Why? Because the source of all the qualities is Krishna. All the qualities come from Krishna. And we develop the qualities of whom we associate with. So when we associate with Krishna, we develop all the qualities of Krishna. So many beautiful qualities like humbleness, uh, tolerance, gratitude, uh, gentleness, kind-hearted, uh, forgiving, and freedom from unwanted habits like lust, envy, greed, anger. All these all the bad qualities goes away, and all the good qualities appear. And a devotee does not have to make separate endeavors to develop these qualities. They are awarded by the benediction of rendering devotional service. And this is another way how devotional service is the beginning of all auspiciousness. I mean, who doesn't want to develop the beautiful qualities of tolerance, humbleness, forgiveness, gratitude, gentleness? Who don't want these qualities? And that's why there are 26 qualities of a Vaishnava, and it is described that 25 qualities are auxiliary and one quality is primary. And the primary quality is surrender to Krishna, and 25 qualities is includes forgiveness, tolerance, humbleness, gentleness, kindness, and various other qualities. Because the primary quality give rise to all the other 25 auxiliary or secondary qualities. Anybody who surrenders to Krishna, the life becomes auspicious. All the good qualities manifest. But Rupa Goswami also says one should be patient. One should take up with enthusiasm the path of devotional service, with determination, with confidence. One should not have doubts. With confidence, faith, determination, enthusiasm, one should practice devotional service and be patient. And over a period of time, you will see all auspiciousness will appear in your life. Freedom from unwanted misery that we are entitled for because of our so much reactions. In this life, our life may be very sinful. And even if my spiritual master says, even if we are 100% pure in this life, what about the previous so many lifetimes? So every living entity, it is described, if somebody is born in this age of Kali, in Kali Yuga somebody is born, by default they're very sinful, because Kali Yuga is such an age. So those goes away, suffering goes away, one find peace, happiness, auspiciousness, all the good qualities manifest, and by the life of that person who take up devotional service, the entire universe is benefited. Even good for animals and trees. Then a non-Krishna conscious person cannot even sit silently for half an hour. After so-called meditation, he again engages in illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and other nonsensical things. So Prabhupada says a non-Krishna conscious person cannot sit silently for half an hour. But one of the quality of a devotee is gravity. Gravity means doesn't speak unnecessarily. If needed, okay, he will speak. Otherwise, doesn't speak unnecessarily. Um, and it's very difficult, Prabhupada says, for a non-Krishna conscious person to sit silently for half an hour. They like to speak, and whatever they speak is, Prabhupada would say, they speak nonsense. Why nonsense? Does not connect to Krishna. And Nectar of Instruction, first verse say, the speech of a materialist, they are compared to todding of a frog. The frog makes the sound, but the frog invites only snakes, who takes the life of the frogs. Likewise, those who speak nonsense, they attract only dangers. That's why control of the tongue is very important. And tongue has two activities. One is to vibrate and one is to taste. And when we overcome the demands of the tongue, which is not to vibrate anything critical, blasphemous, um, or mundane talk, prajalpa, gossip, cricket, news, not to vibrate anything which is not related to Krishna, and eat only food which is cooked and offered to Krishna, um, then the life become very auspicious. Okay. Then, so this is the second part, which is the first thing we saw is Krishna consciousness gives relief from all material distress, because we remove so much karma, and whatever suffering comes, it's basically for our betterment. And if at all any suffering comes, it's like it is explained, if our head was supposed to be cut off, only we get a small cut with a knife, so it is significantly reduced the suffering. And that is also for the sake of our progress in our Krishna consciousness. So that much benediction pure devotional service brings, and it is all auspicious for animals, trees, all the good qualities comes, we develop. We can, I mean, see, when we're chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra for 2-3 hours, we can vibrate the holy name of Krishna. That itself such a benediction. Otherwise, if you all remember in the beginning, sitting for 10 minutes, the mind will become wild. Now we can sit for a few hours and chant the holy name of Krishna. That itself is a sign of progress. And one become peaceful and happy. Then Krishna consciousness, this is the third one. Krishna consciousness automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure. This we may not be able to experience now, because we see that the holy name has three phases. There is Nam Aparad, there is Nam Abhas, and there is Shuddha Nam. So Nam Aparad is when there are many offenses happening, many mistakes happening while chanting the holy name of Krishna. When we are not very careful, and they are not knowingly we are doing something, it's just part of our nature. It's part of our swabhav, that we tend to behave in certain way that is not pleasing to many people. Uh, and it just requires certain purification. So the first two qualities that we discussed, like it is a beginning of all auspiciousness and removes material distress, one can experience these two qualities even in the beginning. But this quality, the next two qualities, can be experienced when one is advanced, or a madhyamadikari, or a middle class devotee. Those devotees can experience this quality and the next quality, and the last two qualities can be experienced only by pure devotees, very advanced devotees. This is mediocrely advanced devotees. If you have seen Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, if we have discussed in the past, he describes it begins from Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha. With faith, we look for, when we develop faith, then we try to find for Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees. In association of devotees, we start performing Bhajana Kriya, the chanting of holy name of Krishna, following the regulative principles, offering food to Krishna, reading scriptures, hearing the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, hearing about Krishna. So this is the process of Bhajana Kriya. And Bhajana Kriya helps to remove all the unwanted habits and all the anarthas. And Bhajana Kriya, once our anarthas are significantly minimized, then we come to the stage of Nishtha. And in Nishtha, it's a stage of steadiness where we are steady. It's not like we are enthusiastic one day, second day we're not enthusiastic, and we are encouraged to perform devotional service certain circumstances, and certain circumstances discourages us. So not like that. Steady means no matter what happens, we become fixed in our Krishna consciousness, and that's because the anarthas has significantly been reduced. So that is a stage of nishtha. When one chants at the stage of nishtha, this nishtha and ruchi and ashakti, uh, this quality can be experienced. Krishna consciousness automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure. When one is fixed and anarthas are significantly reduced, when that devotee chants the holy name of Krishna, he can immediately experience transcendental pleasure. One time I was reading a book on the holy name. I don't remember. I think it was by Dhanudhar Maharaj. It was by one of the sannyasi, and he did an interview with many advanced devotees about what is your experience in chanting the holy name of Krishna. So one devotee from New York, no names, he mentions, um, as soon as I take my beads and chant the holy name of Krishna, I immediately derive unlimited joy by chanting the name of Krishna. And I feel like um, whenever in a day, in the afternoon, in the night, I can connect with the holy name very easily. So I was thinking, wow, that's such a great fortune. So this particular devotee has pleased Lord Krishna and the holy name so much that Lord Krishna is willing to dance on his tongue with divinity at any point of time. And there is one devotee, he is like some of you may know, his name is Radhesham Prabhu. Um, uh, Very advanced devotee. He is uh, serving as a leader in Pune temple. Uh, he has made like many hundreds of uh, full-time devotees, and currently in his temple 300 brahmacharis are living, and he has pleased his spiritual master thoroughly. So he is very very driven in his Krishna consciousness, and very very pure soul. On Ekadashis, he doesn't do any service or doesn't engage in teaching activities on Ekadashis. On Ekadashi, he waits for Ekadashi because he's so busy that after chanting in the morning, he has like one devotee said, he goes from Vyasasana to Vyasasana. He has so many devotees are waiting to hear from him because of his purity and how he encourages devotees. And this devotee Radhesham Prabhu, he waits for Ekadashi. When Ekadashi comes, doesn't take any service on that day, and he just sits and chants. And one devotee was mentioning, his name is Krishna Kumar Prabhu, something like that. Um, don't remember exactly, but he was mentioning that just whenever I sit with Radhesham Prabhu and chant in his association, I feel like my chanting goes so high. So there are devotees who are sufficiently advanced. When they chant the holy name of Krishna, the holy name of Krishna puts them immediately, automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure. But it's not discouraging if you're not able to experience that, because It's just a matter of time. As long as we are enthusiastic, as long as we are sincere, and then we have patience. With patience, have patience, and enthusiastically serve the Prabhupada mission, and let the time pass by. There is no um, have no doubts. Um, it's just a matter of time. That's all. They are practicing for 30, 40 years. We will be practicing for a few years. Just a matter of time. Because the devotional service is all powerful. If we are just if we are just sincere, enthusiastic, and patient, the devotional service will 100% purify our heart. And to the extent our heart becomes more and more purified, Krishna will reveal himself to us, and we will be able to experience transcendental pleasure at all times. It's just a matter of time. That's why Rupa Goswami says, don't give up. Just because there are some difficulties, don't give up. But then, the mind is there, and the mind give many troubles. That's why association of devotees is very important, because Vaishnava Sangha will always push us forward. Keep going, keep going, keep going. One devotee, very, very advanced. He is on a platform, Uttama Adhikari. He asked if you all want to experience Krishna the way I experience Krishna, and we all raised our hand. And he said, just keep chanting Hare Krishna. There is no secrets. Everything is given as it is. Just follow four regulative principles. Use your tongue to vibrate the names of Krishna. Eat Krishna Prasad, and do not criticize others. This is also very important. Do not criticize others, and let time pass by. Um, my spiritual master says, he is on a platform of pure devotion, but he says still, pride does not come, pride will not come if we see that how the love of Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, um, uh, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, Sadhya Kabunoy, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitti Koroyodoy. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoy. That the love of Krishna is in the heart of every living entity. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitti Koroyodoy. And by the process of hearing and chanting, Shravan Adi, hearing and chanting, Shravan Adi Shuddha Chitte. Shuddha Chitte means the heart is purified. Koroyodoy. And the love for Krishna will arise from within the heart. There is, have no doubt, uh, there is no secret, no need to um, envy those who are more advanced than us. No need to feel disheartened that is so advanced and not so advanced, because just a matter of time. Prabhupada would say, they have pleased Krishna and Krishna is reciprocating. You serve Krishna, you please Krishna, Krishna will reciprocate with you also. Krishna says, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu Name Asti Same Na Priya. I am not envious of anyone, nor I am partial to anyone. So he is not favoring anyone and he is not disfavoring anyone. He says, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu, I am equal to all. Whoever rendered devotional service to me, Krishna says, I reciprocate as they approach me. Whoever rendered devotional service, I reciprocate. So there is no secret. Just be patient and enthusiastically keep practicing our Krishna consciousness. Now, this is uh, my dear wife, person who has surrendered himself at the lotus feet of Govinda and who has just developed pure Krishna consciousness can be very easily awarded all the perfections desired by the impersonalist, and beyond this, he can enjoy the happiness achieved by pure devotees. This is from This is from actually Lord Shiva to Parvati, Tantra Shastra, and Lord Shiva is saying to Parvati that anybody who has surrendered himself to lotus feet of Govinda, and thus because of that surrender has developed pure love for Krishna, he can enjoy happiness achieved by pure devotees. Lord Krishna also says, Sarva Dharma Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Ishyami Masucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I will deliver you from all sinful reactions, O Arjuna. Do not fear. A happiness derived from pure devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. The happiness derived from material perfection or understanding oneself to be Brahman is inferior because it is temporary. If you see, material happiness is described as temporary. We enjoy for some time and then the happiness, Lord Krishna says, um, Adi antavanta kauntaya nateshu ramate bura. Um, what is the beginning of this verse? Uh, anyways, it says that the material happiness adi antavanta kauntaya, that it has a beginning and it has an end. Every material happiness has an end. One devotee said, if we have a desire to enjoy, then think about it. How long can I enjoy? How long can I enjoy? Very little, because all the material happiness is very little. Okay, I really want this desire to be fulfilled. I really want to eat gulab jamun. Okay, how long will you enjoy when you eat gulab jamun? Few seconds, and then the pleasure is gone. Just creating the hankering to eat more. And if we eat unlimitedly and desiring our tongue, then we suffer. The belly suffers eventually. So how long can I enjoy any material pleasure? How long can I enjoy? And then think about it. How long will I have to suffer for this? Enjoy for a very little time. And how long do I have to suffer? So much long suffering. This is material happiness. Very cruel. This material world is like looks very nice externally, but the true nature of material world is um, very painful and terrible. The true nature. Yesterday I was thinking, I mean, there are many things that somehow keeps going in my mind here and there, but like uh, looks very nice. Like I was thinking from the example of bed bugs. Yesterday I was thinking that how you go to a room and the room looks so nice. Nice bed, nice pillow, very clean, washed, fragrant. It looks so nice. And then what happens? You want to enjoy the comfort, and in the night, these bed bug comes and cause so much suffering. And then I was thinking, how this material world is like that. Um, Everything externally looks so nice, clean, promises so much enjoyment, and then there is so much suffering which is hidden, so much reaction that is hidden, that comes as soon as a living entity tries to enjoy. Maya captures him. कृष्णा भूले सजीवा भोग वांछा करे निकटस्थ माया तरे झपटिया धरे. Krishna bhulya sajiva bhoga vancha kare. As long as living entity forget Krishna and desire to do bhog, desire to enjoy. As soon as living entity forget Krishna and desire to enjoy, nikatastha maya khade, बगल में खड़ी है, watching. निकटस्थ माया तरे झपटिया धरे. झपटके captures a living entity. And Maya Devi has this trishul, this three modes of material nature. Rajogun, Satagun, Tamogun, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, and pierce the living entity with this trishul, with this spear, and blood comes out. Our Vaishnavacharya described Maya as Pisachi. Pisachi means uh, Bhutani. This is our Vaishnavacharya's description. Uh, cannot Don't try to find happiness in this world. Don't try to look around in the world and try to find happiness in this world. You will only find lack of inner satisfaction no matter where you go. The real satisfaction comes and is present at the lotus feet of Krishna. In the name of Krishna, in the form of Krishna, in the qualities of Krishna, in the pastimes of Krishna, in the sweetness of Krishna, in the sweetness of Vrindavan. That's where the real pleasure lies. Don't try to find happiness in this world. Prahlad Maharaj says, don't try to be happy in this world, because if you try to be happy in this world, he says, if you want to be happy in this world, stop trying to be happy. Stop trying to be happy. Very, very instructive, actually. If you want to be happy in this world, stop trying to be happy. Don't make plans how to enjoy this material world. Don't make such plans, because these plans are illusory. They are born from the mind, and the mind is influenced by material energy. Please don't make plans how to enjoy this material world. Make plans, how do I become more sincere? How do I do more service? How do I develop my taste in the holy name? How do I grow? Make such plans. Planning is important, but plan according to scriptures. Plan for your welfare. Srimad Bhagavatam describes one who plans for one's sense gratification is the killer of one's own soul, because one is simply planning in the name of planning for happiness. One is planning one's torture. That's why it looks very nice. I mean, we all have experiences. Whatever material desires we have experienced in the past, they led to misery. All the material happiness in the past, they have caused so much suffering. And still, if we are desiring some form of material happiness, we see those who are enjoying those material happiness are also miserable. It's like chewing the chewed, Prahlad Maharaj says. We have chewed it and there was not much nectar. We threw it and then there's nothing else to chew, so let's chew it again. In that way. So, the happiness derived from material perfection or understanding oneself to be Brahman is inferior and it's temporary. It's temporary, it leads, it has a reaction. But the happiness derived from pure devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. And also material happiness, all kinds of material happiness ends with the body. At the time of death, all sources of material happiness are taken away from us. But the pleasure of devotional service is eternal. Even when the soul leaves the body, the soul is transcendently blissful because the soul meditates on the lotus feet of Govinda. On the soul meditates on the lotus feet of Sri Guru, absorbed in prayerful mode to Guru and Gauranga and Krishna. So it is eternal. After comparing mystic yogic siddhis to material perfections, we find that the materialistic scientists strive for the same perfections. So actually, there is no difference between mystic perfection and materialistic perfection. Okay, we will read this once again. After comparing mystic yoga siddhis, see, these are the three kind of deviations Rupa Goswami described, and he says, "Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakalaya Shanta." One who desires bhukti, mukti, siddhi, kami, sakalaya shanta. Only one who, and then the next line says, Ekala Krishna, only one who desires Krishna alone. He is eternally happy. But those who desire bhukti, mukti, siddhi, kami, they are always miserable. So the this particular devotional service puts one into transcendental pleasure, which comes by Krishna. But bhukti is desire for sense gratification. Mukti is liberation. Siddhi is yogic perfection. Some people want siddhis. What is siddhi? We will see that now. After comparing mystic yoga siddhis to materialistic perfections, we find that the materialistic scientists try for the same perfection. So actually, there is no difference between mystic perfection and materialistic perfection. So there was a German scholar, um, one of there are 7 kinds of mystic siddhis. One of the mystic siddhis you can float in the air. One of the mystic siddhis you can walk on the water. Another mystic siddhi is you can enter inside the stone. So this German scholar who came to India and he saw many yogis and they were having many kind of yogic siddhis, and he said, So these people, they do um, so many decades of mystic yoga practices, and then finally they get some mystic siddhis and they can fly in the air. So this German scholar said, whatever you are trying to do, fly in the air. These material scientists are trying to achieve the same goal by discovering the aeroplane. You are trying to go inside the stone. These materialistic scientists, they are trying to break the stone and make underground trains and achieve the same perfection. um, you are trying to float in the water, and these material scientists are trying to make such ships that can float in the water. So whatever yogic siddhis are trying to do, yogic siddhis, they actually, they get some power. Like Hiranyakashipu had so many yogic siddhis. Ravana has so many yogic siddhis because he can have 10 heads. Hiranyakashipu, he can go and fly just by himself in the heavenly planets. He made his residence in the heavenly planets. And one case in Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this Bishak Sen, he has mystic siddhis in his hairs, that he can do so many things and create jewels and gold. So many people are attracted to those potencies, mystic siddhis. Um, but it's a complete distraction to the path of devotion. That's why it is said now, Srila Prabhupada says there in the purport that a pure devotee develop all the yogic siddhis. Srila Prabhupada had many yogic siddhis. So one time Malti Prabhu was mentioning some devotees were going with Prabhupada, and devotees were shocked. Somehow, at that point of time, Prabhupada was very kind on them. So devotees were shocked. They were walking on a sand beach, and the if you walk on a sand beach, it's actually very difficult to walk on a sand beach. I myself has experienced, because in the summer we go for sankirtan on a beach. So we park the car and we have to go through the sand, and every step we take a lot of effort because the leg goes deep inside, and then next step, so it's a little bit difficult. And Prabhupada was like 75-year-old man, and it was very like he had to take a lot of effort to walk on a beach. He would go for a morning walk every day. So Prabhupada was walking, he went by the ocean, and devotees were taking a lot of effort to walk on the sandy beach. And Prabhupada, for the sake of convenience, he started walking in the air. Walking in the air means he was not touching the ground. His feet were not going inside the sandy beach, inside the sand, and he was just walking. But no, like, if you walk, you make an impression in the soil because your feet goes inside. No such impression, it's just a smooth, and he just walking, just barely touching the ground. Malti Prabhu and Guru Das Prabhu, they noticed, and they were showing to other devotees that, see, Prabhupada is actually not walking on the ground, he's walking above the ground, because it was convenient for Prabhupada at the age of 75, so he just walked. Thinking that nobody noticed. So, and there are many instances that devotees share about Prabhupada, how Prabhupada had all the mystic siddhis, but Prabhupada never wanted to display mystic siddhis. Because one devotee asked Prabhupada, so you are a guru from India, and you seem to be very accomplished guru. So can you show me some mystical powers? Prabhupada said, my mystical powers is, um, he said two things. One thing he said is, I have converted hippies into happies. See, these people, they were drug addicts, drunkards. They cannot live a day without illicit sex. And now they're living such a pure life, chanting the names of Krishna. This is my mystic power. Another time, Prabhupada said, I can stand amidst a room full of naked women and I will come out undisturbed, but you will be disturbed by them. I will not be disturbed by them. So, in various ways, Prabhupada described and he emphasized on the process of bhakti. But Prabhupada, at another point of time, he says, anybody who render pure devotional service get all the mystical powers. But if you want become attached to mystical siddhis, then it's a great distraction. That's why we don't practice devotional service for siddhi. That's why Rupa Goswami says, Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakale Ashanta. Anyone who desires material sense gratification, mundane liberation, yogic siddhis, or kama, or desires, sense gratification, Sakale Ashanta, he's always unhappy. And very good example is Hanuman. Hanuman would just perform his devotional service to Lord Ramchandra, and he had all the mystic siddhis. Even the demoniac people can have mystic siddhis, and pure devotees can also have mystic siddhis. Siddhis are given by tapasya. You perform austerity and you can develop siddhis. Devotees also perform austerities, but their austerity is pure devotional service to Krishna. Getting up early in the morning, chanting in one place, chanting 16 rounds minimum every day. These are all austerities, reading scriptures, cooperating with devotees. These are all austerities for devotees. For others, they do different kind of austerities. Okay, so I would like to stop here. I think this is the, so there is more on this topic. If there is some discussion, we will take at this point. Any questions, any discussions?
Very grateful, Prabhuji, for sharing the glories of holy names. Very nice discussion. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I guess we will end our discussion here today. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavindu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dhanvat pranam. Prabhuji, Hare
Dhanvat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam.
Thank you.
Very bold.